Welcome to Three Voices Unfiltered, where no topic is off limits and everything gets real. Join us,
Ronisha,
Theresa,
Suzanne, as we dive into hot topics, share our wildest experiences, and bear our honest opinions and thoughts. Buckle up, because with us it's always raw, always vibrant, and absolutely unfiltered.
Hey guys.
Hello.
hey,
Hi Ronisha.
hi Theresa,
Suzanne.
Hey, Theresa.
hey girl,
Hey
hey,
everybody out there. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Three Voices Unfiltered. Today we're going to be talking about unexpected situations and challenges that we've experienced, and we hope that it's going to be funny. We're going to be laughing, okay? But some of it is just not funny, you know. We hope that it's going to... But when you listen to mine, you know, when you listen to mine, you're going to be like, you might feel sorry for me. Bless my own heart. But anyway, Suzanne, you want to go ahead and start?
Yes, so why this topic? Well, as you all can see, I have a sling on.
yeah.
And I had a very unexpected situation this weekend. You know how sometimes you plan your day. I was dressed, we were getting ready to go to the store and do some shopping and then coming back and hanging out by the pool. Well, I was going up the steps to grab my purse. Down I went, and I tried to catch myself with my arm, I suppose, and I had it stretched out and popped my shoulder out of place.
Wow.
And it was pretty rough. I got myself back on the ground. Well, I was on the ground, but I got myself to a comfortable position where I could think, how can I get myself out of this situation? I had no cell phone on me. John wasn't in the house, and my friend I was visiting for the week was outside. So I thought, if I can kind of get my way to the garage door button, I can open the garage door and get somebody's attention. So I squatted myself up to the button, hit it with my elbow, and then just sat, and my friend was able to see me right away, but I was sweating. The pain was insane. So I'm sweating, I'm about to pass out. I may have been in a little bit of shock from the pain, I'm not sure, but it was bad. So we called EMS to transfer me to the hospital.
Wow.
And on the way there, they gave me a couple meds that did nothing. I felt they didn't do anything. But long story short, the doctor said that I had a dislocated shoulder, which they put back in, and a fracture of my humerus bone.
Wow.
So yeah, so now we're dealing with this unexpected situation. And it's just the beginning, because I'm not sure what else is going on with my shoulder, so we'll see.
I wonder, and not to make light of your situation, really not to make light of it, but I told you we're going to be laughing. Suzanne, what did your son Kevin say to you?
Kevin said, "Mom, don't you have an Apple phone watch?" And I was like,
So you had
"Actually,
your
yes,
Apple
I do
Watch
have my
on.
Apple Watch. I could have called for help with my Apple Watch." But I'm in my mode and I'm not even thinking about my Apple Watch.
But you know what? But that's the thing. The thing is that when something happens to you, you know, it's like you have this adrenaline, okay, and you really can't think. And the one thing that they say is to be calm, okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
But we don't do that, you know. We're like, oh my gosh, and then you know you focus on what happened to
The
you,
pain,
whatever.
though, the
you know.
pain was way too much. So it was excruciating. But and another kind of funny thing I told John, you know how many times I've either slapped hard on the table or whatever movement, and my Apple Watch will ask me, "Did you fall? Did you need help?"
Wow.
But the one day that I actually needed help, it didn't ask me.
Wow.
I want to add to that too, because the other day, it was last month sometime, you know, because I had some health challenges earlier this year, right? So it was last month sometime, and I was just scrolling on my phone, and so Alexa came up some kind of way, and Alexa has an emergency services. It's $5.99 a month. That's all it is, right? And I have two Alexas in my house, one on each side of the house. And so I said, well, because I live by myself. And so I said, well, let me do that. And I didn't tell Suzanne, I didn't tell my son, I didn't tell nobody. I just like signed up for it. And next thing I know, it was my son first, Mom, I got this call. You know
started
what I mean?
getting alerts.
Wow. I got this alert. And I said, no. I said, I'm good. And then Suzanne contacted me, and then Brandon contacted me. But I had like 3 people.
Wow.
As my backup, you know what I mean? Which is a good thing. So I guess the takeaway from, that little takeaway is, if we have some type of emergency,
protocol.
Yeah,
or something.
But you had your watch, but of course, whatever.
I forgot about it.
And then I thought about it. I said, well, if I fall in this garage, I said, ain't nothing.
That's what happened to me.
But that's what happens, you know what I mean? But Suzanne's husband, a few months ago, put up a guardrail on my steps leading. And it's only 2 steps, you guys, that leads from my back door down into the garage. And he put that for me because it just came up in my spirit one day, to put some type of rail in there, to grab onto. And I love it. Yeah.
Well, we have a handrail, but what made me fall was the shoes that I'm actually wearing right now that I shouldn't be wearing anymore. They're like the most comfortable sandals.
Oh, I see them.
But they kind of tend to fold under my feet. And that's what happened. And then I went and and I couldn't. I tried to catch myself, and I think trying to catch myself is what I made it worse. And then, but when I heard that pop, I thought, I'm done. This is it.
That was a freaky. That was
go to the emergency room.
It was.
So it was kind of a freak accident and an unexpected situation. Now, does anybody? I know Ronisha has a huge unexpected situation.
I have a couple funny ones.
Well, go with the funny one.
My shoulder always popped out as a child.
Really?
To the point my mom learned how to put it back in.
Oh my! Did it hurt though when it popped out?
I don't remember, but anything she did to me, it would pop out. Like grab my arm to get me away from something, it would pop out.
Yikes.
Or if I was playing and doing something, grabbing on something, it would pop out.
Oh my goodness.
To the point where the doctor showed her how to put it back in.
Wow.
That happened to me a lot. So, But there's a funny story you all remember when I was pregnant with Alicia and I went into labor at work. Although I knew I was having a child, that was very unexpected. There were no warning signs. And I heard, it was like the child in my belly, Alicia, and she's like this. She just kind of moved really sharply and my water broke. But I'm pretty casual. I'm a pretty laid back person.
Yeah.
So I just got up. I walked to your desk, Suzanne. I'm like, I think my water broke. And you just started going
out.
crazy. You're like, what? Go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay. So I walked to the bathroom and I'm like, yeah, it is because it keeps pouring. It's my water.
Oh my gosh,
And
I remember that.
I don't remember. Did you drive me to the hospital?
I did.
Okay, so, and I just...
We're like, buddy, we gotta go!
Yeah. So we just went to the hospital and I had a baby. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, okay. All right. I had already packed the bag.
Yeah.
It was in my car.
Yeah.
So I packed the baby bag.
Wow.
I kind of am like that with situations. I don't know why I'm like this. I feel like God has blessed me with this demeanor to just take things very calmly.
I'm better. I used to freak out about stuff, and now, like, when I broke my shoulder, I just said, hey. She's like, well, I was on the floor, so there was no describing what happened. I fell, but I stayed pretty calm to the point where John's asking me, so do you need an ambulance? Did you want me to take you? I mean, I'm here at 100 in pain. I can't make decisions. But I said, you know what? I'm in so much pain. Let's just call EMS. Tell them no lights, no hoopla. I don't need any attention from the neighbors. I just come quietly down the driveway and quietly take me out.
Right.
But that I'm learning like you to stay pretty calm, because when you freak out, you can't think. You can't make good decisions. You're freaking out, and it's like everything takes over but common sense.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a situation back in 2005. I was in the process of selling my first house, and I had an appraiser coming the next morning to do the appraisal. And that night before, I was in the bathroom and I was getting ready to take a shower. So while I was in the shower, and my shower was separate, from the tub. And so when I went to take a shower, I saw the biggest water bug. We live in North Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
We live in North Carolina.
The worst.
And they're this big. And some of them be flying. And so I don't like
fly.
Yeah, and I don't like critters. I don't like bugs or whatever. But anyway, it was on my ceiling because I had the popcorn ceiling. So it was on my ceiling. And it was like in the showers, whatever, on the ceiling. So I'm like, oh, wow. Because I didn't want that thing, taking a shower and falling in. So what I did was I just waited until it crawled, and it crawled over to the, towards the tub. And so what I did was I took like a rolled up piece of paper. It was newspapers back in 2005. And I took a rolled up to whatever. And so I stood on this small stool. And I promise you this stool wasn't but this high. I promise you it was like this big and that high. And I stood on it to swat it down into the bathtub, because I figured if I get it into the bathtub, then I can, squish it or whatever, whatever. Because it was a huge bathtub, right? So I could flush it. Well, I slipped off of the stool. And when I say I slipped off the stool, it was very casual, it was not dramatic. It was not like a big thug. It's just I slipped off the stool. And I didn't think anything of it, so, you check your hips, I checked whatever, and everything was good. But I could not put any pressure on my left foot. That thing was scary. So I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Seriously, what do I do? What do I do?
Meanwhile, the bug is living his best life in
the tub. So some kind of way, wait a minute, did I block that out? I don't know what happened to the bug. I killed it some kind of way. I don't know. But but I got myself in the shower, because I just couldn't put any pressure on that foot. So I got myself in the shower, whatever. And so I went down, and so I remember I went to bed, and then that night I called my son, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna need you to come over here, and take me to urgent care. I went to urgent care first, So when I went to urgent care, no, I'm lying to you guys. I sat there, and the appraiser came that morning.
That's right. The appraiser was supposed to come.
The appraiser came it was like 8:30 in the morning. Okay, so it was like really early, which was a good thing, right? So I'm sitting on the chair, and I just let him go all around the house. I didn't even care. I let him go, do what he do, And so he did what he did, and then left. And then my son, took me to urgent care. And I'm gonna tell you, the best thing that happened to me was they took an ACE bandage. And, after they did the examination, told me I ruptured my Achilles tendon.
Oh.
Okay. And they took an ACE bandage, you guys, and they wrapped it up. It felt so good. You know what I mean? It just felt so good. And then I went to Orthopedic East, and then I went, and then I had to have surgery.
Oh, wow.
2 days later.
Surgery?
I had to have surgery for that rupture.
Wow.
I had to have surgery for that rupture. And, but that was, and then... that was weird. And then I was off of work for 6.5 weeks. 6.5 weeks. And the weird thing was, let's talk about unexpected situations. So I bought I was selling that house, and I didn't have another house, you guys. I didn't have no place to go. I didn't have another house. But what I did was, I think a couple of weeks before that, I went to a management company, and I rented a 1-bedroom apartment. And I was in that 1-bedroom apartment for 3 months. And then, for 3 months. And then after I got the cast off my leg, then I got a boot. and then I was
I remember
able to,
that boot.
And
I remember you having that boot.
and then I was able to drive around and whatever. And then Suzanne and I went one Saturday, and we went and ate, and we was going to yard sales, I think it was, and we saw my house that I live in now. But anyway, but that was just like a freak accident, you know, because I'm that afraid of, you know, a water bug that.
Well, you were doing it right. You got a stool.
I got a stool.
You got a newspaper, which is essential to kill a bug.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here thinking
happens.
about all the freak accidents and things that have happened, and there's
nothing you can do about it.
Endless. There's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing to do about it.
One time, I just thought about this while you were saying your story. John was sick. He had a cough, some type of cough. This was pre-COVID, so he's just coughing, probably the flu or whatever. And he was bothering me at night when he's coughing, waking me up. So I said, you know, you waking me up, go to the other room. Well, he wouldn't go to when he's sick, he just will not go to the other room. I'm not sure. I could go to the other room, but anyhow. So he's sitting there coughing, and I kind of could hear him coughing, but muffled. Next thing I hear thump, like a loud thump. And then I don't hear anything else. And I say, wait, are you okay? And I hear, like groaning. And I'm like, okay. So then I jump out of bed. There's blood everywhere. It looked like a crime scene. And I'm like, what is happening? So what we think happened was that he was coughing, muffling his sound with the pillow, and he made himself pass out. So he went face first on the ground. I mean, he had blood coming out. It looked bad. So we're in the bathroom. This is, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to figure out where the blood's coming from, what's happening. And then I go, and we finally get it all sorted out, cleaned up, whatever. And we go around to his side of the bed to help him get in bed. And there's blood on it was like droplets everywhere. I don't know if at that point maybe he fell, coughed, and it was splattered like murder scene. I took a picture. I have it somewhere, but I won't share it. But that was just like it was like a weird freak accident. And sometimes these accidents, like I've had 2 situations. I was brushing my teeth one day. I don't know what happened that I bumped my forehead on the faucet hard enough to kind of get me a little dizzy. And I told John, I said, I could have hit my head there, passed out, died, and how is a coroner or somebody going to figure out that's it was just a freak accident.
Yeah.
Like, so we have things that can happen that can actually get somebody in trouble.
Absolutely.
Because they can't explain them.
I remember a celebrity that I was in an R&B group, that Brownstone.
Mm-hmm.
One of the singers, that's how she died. A freak accident where she was holding a glass of wine, walking, she tripped and she fell backwards and somehow like broke some bone in her neck and died.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened to me. I was putting up the that month, that December, I fell a few times. I don't know what was happening with me. I was falling a lot. And I was putting up the Christmas tree, and I went to put up the star. I was by myself in the living. There were people in the house, but I was by myself in the living room. And I got on a stool, like you, to put the star or an ornament or whatever I was putting on the tree. I fell back. I hit the back of my head on the edge of the coffee table. I mean, hard.
Oh, wow.
So it scared me so much because I could have died. Like, it hit me right in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And I just started bawling, just crying. I just sat on the floor and I was sobbing because it scared me so much. I said, I could have just died and nobody known what happened to me.
Thank God.
And ironically, another one is I dislocated this shoulder before, my other shoulder. And it was another freak accident. I was sitting on the deck by the flower bed. One thing, I do not like to get my feet dirty. Like, I have a thing about if there's sand on the ground, I can feel it. I do not like to get my feet dirty. So I was barefoot, and I kind of, it wasn't harsh. It was just a little, lost my balance. So I just lightly leaned against the post, and I heard it, and it's like, what just happened? So I looked, and my shoulder was square. Started running in the house, John, screaming, John! I was sitting on the ground, and I'm like, fix it! Because in the movies, they fix it, right? They go and pop it back in. So I'm thinking, he just has to fix it for me.
Against the
wall or something. So he starts walking towards me, and he's like, I'm not touching you. So, of course, this was in 14 years ago, 2010.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm even. I've dislocated both.
Suzanne.
This one has had surgery. Hopefully this one will.
No, I don't want.
I just last week I was outside. I have a refrigerator in my garage. The one that you have the freezer at the top and the refrigerator section at the bottom. Well, I opened the freezer at the top. All right, and it was kind of close to it. And when I pulled my car, it was kind of close, and I bent down. I think I dropped something. I don't know what I did, but I bent down, and I kept back up, and my head just hit it. And you talk about somebody that started praying. I was like, because I had already been experiencing headaches and stuff like that, and I knew I had a doctor's appointment to go to this past Thursday, for it, and I was like holding. I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? But anything can happen,
anything can happen. So. I'm sure we've all been in car accidents. They're unexpected. And
I have,
half the time,
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
somebody hits you, and next thing you're in the hospital, and that happened to me, and I had a concussion, or a work accident that I had and ended up with a concussion. It's just illnesses that those are definitely unexpected.
Yeah, illnesses are very
come up,
unexpected.
I know.
Then you get a diagnosis that you have to deal with, and things like that. So
yes, you be this is what I say. I said, I was minding my business. Okay, and next thing I know, here we go.
Yeah.
Same thing with me.
Yeah, so
that happened, and maybe I'll have John come one day and talk about his story, but about his hard experience and that whole unexpected
It's scary,
situation.
definitely, when you're a healthy person like I was, and then to get stage 4 brain cancer. What?
Yeah.
What am I? I told my doctor, no, sir. I don't have that. No. Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness.
But here are the pictures. I'm like, what? Crazy.
That's
Not
crazy.
expected. Not expected.
That must have been terrifying.
I was calm.
I'm sure you were. That's your demeanor,
I was like,
what do we do now, right? How do we tackle this?
Yep, that's how the first thing, I was calling people to pray for me.
Yes.
That's the first thing that came to my mind, really.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
And the feedback from the people I called was great. And they were like, you're going to be fine. And I believed it, so.
I want to make a podcast about that. Like, how did it all start?
I have a story.
What triggered you to go to the hospital?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll do that one next.
Okay.
And have
happy
you
to
talk about and sharing, because someone out there might be able to relate to that and can hear.
Absolutely. And that's my goal and my purpose, is to share that story. I talked with the guy who has cancer yesterday. I'm listing a house for him, and he was like, how are you like this? I'm like, I just have faith, and I just have faith, and you can have it too.
That's right.
Yes.
And he's like, and he didn't seem convinced, but I'm gonna keep on it.
But I'm sure he's thinking about it.
Absolutely,
I'm
I hope
sure
so.
he's thinking
I hope
about
so.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, have you prayed? He's like, I haven't thought about praying for myself. I'm like, yes, pray for yourself. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna ask other people to pray for you. You're gonna be fine.
That's excellent. But my friend, I was on the ground with fall after, she started praying for me right away, like out loud, and I thought, I need to pray for myself. So I started praying.
And just to add to this, remember when I told you just a little bit earlier, as I was telling you about, me having episodes of having headaches, and it started on May 5th. I was driving back from Pennsylvania to Virginia to my mother's house, and I just got a sharp pain. And the one thing that I do, and I do this diligently, is I lay hands on myself and I start talking to the Lord.
That's good.
And I just believe that when we do that, that God changes things. You know what I mean?
I think so. I know so.
And look, and that's my story. I'm sticking with it.
That's right.
And when I say I do it every time, I do. I just lay hands, and I don't care where the pain is. The pain will be anyway.
Yeah.
And I'll lay hands on myself. Whatever, and so I just start talking.
I do that too because there was something weird in my thumb. It actually felt like it was some separated ligament. Like I could feel it. I was touching it, and it was sore. I'm like, I'm healed. I don't know what's going on in this thumb, but I'm healed.
That's right.
And it's fine. But it felt like something, I could feel it in my thumb. I don't know, it was very strange. Yeah. And it went away. And I truly believe that.
And I think that faith, sometimes we don't get the healing. Like, I'm sure we'll have the experience of praying for someone and praying, like, my aunt, praying that God will heal her. She had pulmonary fibrosis. Praying that God will give her the just put breath in her lungs and just let her breathe. And I mean, we were a lot of people praying, and she didn't get healed. But I think that because of our faith, we were able to deal with it better. And knowing her faith, I knew where she was going.
Right.
So that gave me peace of mind, like I know where she's going. She's fine. She won't want to come back even if she had a chance. So sometimes healing we pray for healing and we want healing, but sometimes it doesn't happen, and then what do we do?
I don't
if
know.
You have faith, you can.
I struggle with that if it doesn't happen, because some people say it still happens. Maybe she was healed in a different way, spiritual way, where she left the earth.
Yes.
Maybe she was healed physically where she remained, or she was healed spiritually where she left.
Yes.
Because the one thing that we don't want is, and I talk about this all the time because I do have an elderly parent. My mother's 87, and I wouldn't want her to be here suffering. So it's all about the quality of life, more so than the quantity of life. You know what I mean? So I would want her, and she's, she's good. She got her aches and pains and everything.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
She has all that, but she's cognizant. She has a sound mind, and she can dress herself. And I want her to have. I talk to her about those little tiny blessings.
That's right.
She lives by herself. And that's a beautiful thing. Because she has two siblings that. One is still in a nursing home, but one passed away last month. And they were in nursing homes, and they're not too much older than her, but she's able to live an independent life, today.
And that's
and that's a beautiful thing.
That is a blessing. And if they're like John's dad felt, this is an unexpected situation. He fell and broke his femur. This was a few months ago, just suddenly. And when you're that old, not that he's super old, but when you're older, even me now, I feel that this shoulder is so much worse, or this dislocation feels way worse than this one. And it may be just because of my age. Maybe it's a worse injury. However, I feel it. I feel it more than I feel this one.
Yeah.
So he broke his femur, and it's been just months of recovery. And so we try to tell all our parents, you need to walk, you need to stay active, you need to exercise. It matters.
Let me tell you.
And it helps with accidents. When accidents happen, or hip replacements can be avoided if you're a little stronger, and if your bone, and that all comes from exercise, a good diet, and
Absolutely.
I think it boards
So-
off a little, and I could be totally wrong. You guys don't hold me to this. I think it boards off a little bit of gaining getting arthritis, inside the
Oh,
joints,
it does.
like that,
Mhm.
when you're
Mhm.
moving, because what I try to do every morning, even before I get out of bed, I do certain things, I even do balance exercises, just balance, it doesn't take a lot.
Stretching,
Yeah,
even
stretching a lot.
stretching is
Mhm.
good. Pilates is good.
Oh, that is good,
Pilates.
Yeah, and I definitely stretch, and it's like, because when you're getting older, I mean, it's natural, the body is deteriorating.
It does.
Okay, some of them more
So it
rapid than
takes-
others, but
It takes tumbles a little harder.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do we have any other stories?
let me share a story with
To
y'all.
share?
It's a funny story, but it's not funny, but it's funny. But anyway, do you know that to the month and day that 10 years after I had ruptured my Achilles tendon, that my son ruptured his?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
What was he doing?
Playing
Oh,
basketball.
I figured
He
that.
was
Oh my
playing
goodness.
basketball, and
I
and
did
he
not
was
know
like,
that. Wow.
That's
yes,
interesting.
That was interesting.
That's
it was the
interesting.
weirdest thing that he ruptured his Achilles tendon. Because I ruptured mine in 2005, and he ruptured his in 2015.
Wow.
I think the overall thing is how you
Mhm.
approach challenges, situations.
Yeah.
And there's this Bible verse I really, really love, and Jesus is talking. Anytime Jesus is talking in the Bible, I'm like, hold up, be quiet, let me listen. Jesus is talking.
That's right.
I'll be highlighting it in my Bible.
Because I love when he speaks, and he was saying, there are going to be tribulations in the world, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world.
Yes.
That's all you
That's a good
need.
one.
That's all you need to
Yes.
get through anything. And I think of that Bible verse, and when I got diagnosed with brain cancer, all those things were just flooding my mind, and I believe those things.
Yes.
And I think, it's just
Yes.
how your mindset is, how you approach situations, unexpected,
Yeah.
and how you carry on from those things. So
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to dig deep. Like Kevin was in a bike accident, and it was a pretty significant bike accident, and he didn't want me to come. He didn't. He lives 5 hours away, and he did not. He said, Mom, I had a concussion. He's injured, and he at that moment he just did not. He felt that he needed rest and didn't need me. And then I have to dig deep. And you're talking about trusting and trying to be a good cheer.
absolutely.
As a parent, I was suffering. It was hard, but I did it. I was proud of myself. I did it. And I after a week, I was like, okay, I think I'm giving you enough time. Mom's coming. But that was trying to be a good cheer for him because he's recovering and not being, how are you, and not being overwhelming and things like that.
That's
That was
why I
hard.
didn't tell everybody. It was a year and a half until I really told everybody.
Wow.
I had to keep it tight, and I had to keep the right energy around me. Because that's a fight for your
Yes.
life, really.
Yeah.
So I kept my circle just tight. I didn't tell a lot of folks, and I just went on until I started telling people. I started using brain cancer maybe last year.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even identify it as that.
Wow.
I was like, a tumor. I have a tumor. I have a tumor. That's what I said. Now I say brain cancer because that's what it was. That's what it's always been. But again, it's mindset. How do you think about things?
Mindset.
I thought of it as a tumor that was coming out, and then I'm going on about my life. And that's what I thought. That's how I thought about it.
Wow.
Well, I appreciate your cheery, positive attitude.
You
You've
know,
always
it's
been
the
that
cheerleader
way.
in me.
You've
Go
always been that way.
Cowboys.
And Theresa's pretty calm too. So like I mentioned, I'm a lot better.
That's
I
good.
used to be a really freak out, oh my gosh, crying and super emotional. You couldn't tell me anything, even look at me the wrong way. I'd be bawling or upset. And even one time, our old boss said to me, I cannot come to you without you crying. Like he felt, I made him uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I made him uncomfortable because I can't imagine him thinking, gosh, I gotta go talk to this woman and she's gonna start bawling. And so he made me, and I had to work hard at it to try to be calm and not crying. And there were other situations in life that exposed me to have to just get a little tougher.
Yeah.
And just
I think
calm
that's what life
yourself
does.
down. And I've learned that, and now it takes a lot to get me. If I'm crying, I'm really upset or in a lot of pain.
Yeah, when I got the diagnosis, I didn't cry. I only cried after looking back on what happened, just thankful. So my tears were just happy tears, like thankful tears.
That's awesome.
I know and what I think about what's coming up in my spirit is just God just prepared you for this journey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He
So
did. He really
it
did.
wasn't. So I know we try to take credit for things, but of course it's not us.
Absolutely.
But He prepared you for the whole journey.
He did, and He gave me funny signs. I'm like, God, it has a sense of humor. He gave me funny things that I just laughed about during the whole time.
Wow.
Things that would happen where I'm like, wow, that's not a coincidence. Like when my doctor, y'all know I love Prince. And his band, The Revolution, and my doctor's name was Dr. Fink, and Dr. Fink was Prince's keyboardist in the band.
Oh, really?
My what's her title? She was a brain. I don't know what the brain title is for a brain cancer doctor, but anyway, she's the best in Dallas. And somehow I got to her. I don't even know how it happened. I know it was God.
Yeah.
I don't know how she got
just
my name.
Just to give you little nuggets of like
and you're gonna
joy
be okay.
and
Yeah, you're gonna be okay. Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome.
I was like, do you know who you are? You're Dr. Fink. You played in Prince's band. She's like, no, I didn't. It was just a good light moment.
Yes.
In a really heavy situation that
That's
I appreciated.
awesome. That's awesome.
And she was a blessing. We're going back to surgery. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're doing all the things. And I appreciated that when some doctors were like, just go on a vacation.
Oh my goodness.
Just enjoy what you have left.
Oh my goodness.
I had a doctor tell me that. And I loved her approach, and I knew she was from God because she was so positive, and she was saying everything. Oh, we're going back. We're doing this, and we're going to do this.
Yes.
Because she was a cancer researcher, brain cancer researcher. So, yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Fink.
Dr. Fink, I miss you, Dr. Fink. I'm going to see her soon. But she gave me good doctors here that know her. So they always tell her how I'm doing, and
That's good.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
she's happy. So
That's awesome. Well, this was pretty
unexpected.
Interesting. We just kind of came up with it inspired by my recent event. But we've all been through some type of unexpected situation that you just gotta kind of just go through and stay positive. And I do believe, I will say this to wrap it up, that I think our view and perspective of a situation can really make a difference.
It does.
So I feel that people that are like, oh, why me? And and just all gloom and doom, and I'm gonna die anyway, or here I go again. I just like in my shoulder, like just all. I just went with that. I'm like, well, okay, I have a vacation coming up, and I'm gonna see this week what happens, and it's okay if I have to postpone it. It's not the end of the world.
It is not.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
It's fine.
That is a good takeaway. That is a good takeaway.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times, I would just walk around and say, it's not that serious.
It's not that
Or
serious.
if I'm listening to somebody, and I'm listening to somebody be talking or having a conversation or whatever, just gently, try to bring them comfort. It's just not that serious, because there's so many other things that's going on in life or in the world, or that you can experience and don't, or whatever. And it's just not that serious.
It's just not.
And I'm gonna tell you something. And I have learned that, and really believe that in the last, couple of years. It's just that it's not that serious, and
because life is gonna life. It's lifing all the time, and you just gotta get through it.
Yep.
So
Well, thanks for joining us today. This was a good conversation. I hope that you enjoyed it. And the takeaway could be that whenever you get an unexpected situation, you can just roll with it. Get the help that you need, get your support group, and stay positive. Anything else?
Absolutely.
that's good.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.